I stood there, silently looking outside the window. The calming sound of raindrops resonated in my ears, making me almost forget everything else. Thunder roared in the distance, and I unconsciously closed my eyes. Everything was okay for once. I relished the quiet snores and the occasional twists and turns of my roommates in their bed. I remembered my mother's gentle voice telling me that everything was going to be alright as long as we were together. I remembered her staying strong even after what my father did to her. My father did to her. She stayed strong for me. She was the best mother that I could ever dreamed. And I dreamed of. And I wish that I could have repaid her for everything. But now, she was gone. A jolt of lightning made me open my eyes again, while I was waiting for the sound of thunder to follow. Images of my mother lying on the ground, motionless, and of my father looking down at her came across my mind, and that almost made me fall. I felt a tear run down my cheek, but I quietly dried it. I couldn't let that make me cry. I had to stay strong. I think I fell asleep, though I remember being conscious. I stared at the window for long minutes, looking at the raindrops slowly sliding across the window. Raindrops didn't have to worry about anything. They weren't even aware of their existence. I wonder what it felt like not to be alive. It must be so calm. Objects couldn't feel pain, nor could they feel joy, but joy always leads to sadness. Perhaps that was why my mother hadn't chosen someone she truly loved. That way, she wouldn't have to feel sadness if she ever had to lose him. My thoughts drifted away for a while, like the raindrops on the window, carried away by the wind. Hey kid, what you doing there? I thought I was clear about the rules. You must stay in your bed until the sun is up. The loud and scary noise made me come back to reality. In front of me was standing the ugliest and meanest creature to ever exist. Probably. Her huge, deep-down eyes seemed to pierce through my skin, and I fought hard against my urges to run away. I stood there, silent, trying to keep meeting her eyes. I was going to let her sense my fear. I had to stay strong, always, like my mom did. You're always as pathetic, aren't you? Do you know what hopping to idiots like you, who never talk and don't respect their masters? They're dying of their own stupidity. Once, a boy willingly jumped in front of a car. No one ever saw him afterwards. Do you really want to end up like him? My leg shifted uneasily as I listened to her words. I had heard of cars before. They were big and fast and could easily kill even the strongest of humans. I always wanted to see one, but they were rare, almost inexistent these days. But I was not an idiot, and I was sure that I was another of these made-up stories that were supposed to scare me. I still didn't say a word, although I stopped looking at my master. She wasn't going to let her have the satisfaction of seeing whatever emotion I was showing. You're never going to change, are you? Well, you better make yourself useful. Those dishes are going to clean themselves. I quietly watched her leave, I couldn't help but notice how loud her footsteps were, and the cracking sound that they left after passing on the wooden floor. I knew that I had to start heading to the kitchen soon, or she would have punishing me. And even I didn't stand her punishment. As I put on my favorite and only shirt, I wondered why I was always the one who had to do all the chores. The answer was really tough. I was the only one who dared stand up to our master. The others always listened to her, no matter what she said. I must say that I was mostly at her advantage. All she ever asked them to do was fight each other or weaker outcasts to become stronger, and occasionally go recruit some new kids. By recruit, I mean forcing them into our wonderful home! Nothing too difficult for bullies like them. I was the only one who cared about having clean things, so I naturally cleaned my bed, and while I was at it, I cleaned all of the others' bed, and I ended up cleaning the entire house. Of course, our master, who never told us or her real name to make sure that we could call her like that, took advantage of my talent. For cleaning and made me do every single chore. Sometimes newbies would help me, but they always end up joining the rest of the group. I was not about to complain. I enjoyed being alone, if only that lady could stop yelling after me. Hey, Fan! Are you coming to... Or do I have to get out my stick? Or would you like if I try using my knife? I rushed towards the kitchen. She was staring at me angrily, and I didn't dare stand up to her this time. Explain yourself, and put that shirt the right way, idiot. I noticed that my hurry had forgotten to put my arms in one of the sleeves, and my shirt was all upside down anyway. I quickly removed it and put it back, and I started walking towards the sink, ready to start my job. I told you to explain yourself. I froze. I really have to talk to her. It looked like I didn't have a choice. I braced myself and started doing what I rarely did. I used my voice. I'm sorry. I think I was sleepy. I'm sorry. Please don't kill me. What even was that? I just confirmed to her that I was just as dumb, useless kid. What was wrong with me? Just go clean the dishes. It's the only thing you're good at anyway. Oh, Jeffrey is going to help you to die. He's new. Try not to get too close to him. I wouldn't want him to catch your dumbness. I suddenly noticed that an unfamiliar face had watched me make a fool of myself the whole time. He was probably only thinking about how dumb I looked. Good for him. At least he can have a good story to tell the rest of the group. He should become their friend in no time and have a great time laughing at me with them. How lucky! The darker tone of his skin was rather unusual for someone of the area, but I didn't really care too much. It was just something more he could brag about to his soon-to-be made friends. I, on the other hand, didn't look any special. I just had dirty blonde hair, blue eyes, and pale skin. Nothing cool, nothing intimidating, and nothing extraordinary. I thought maybe I could try to intimidate the new one. Even after what he saw, he probably was too new to know how I really was, and he wasn't really used to the place yet. Perhaps I could upgrade my social status a little. I stared at him, try my best to be as strong as possible, and I'm Australian. I'm going to mock him. I'm going to make him think that this sink was mine, and that he had to leave, even if King of the Dirty Dishes wasn't the rank I dream of. Even I was younger, I couldn't do for. It would do for now. After a while, he dared talk to me. Hey, this lady doesn't seem nice. Is she always like that? Was he usually trying to have a conversation with me? I didn't really want to know the answer. Sooner or later, every friend you might ends up betraying you. I stopped staring at him, scared that he wouldn't take as a sign that I wanted him to continue talking, instead scrubbing the dishes and rinsing them. The cold water felt good on my hands, and I started wondering about how the water got here. Did it come through pipes? Did the other kids bring it here? Did our master pay someone to bring it to us? What was there a source under our house? Are you going to let me do anything? I had almost forgotten that Jeffrey was there, but I wasn't going to give him the satisfaction of replying to him. If he was bored, he could just go find himself a bed, just as long as he didn't touch mine. I continued cleaning the plates, bowls, and other weird kitchen things that I didn't know how to call. I always liked to see how the soap helped remove the sticky food that was left on the objects. I would have loved to know how it happened. No, fine. That's your name, right? I'm sure you know that the lady won't be happy to see that I'm not doing anything. Please let me help you. I smiled. He begged me to do something. I was tempted to give him what he wanted. After all, I didn't have to become his friend. I just had to let him help me for a few minutes. I pointed towards my pile of clean dishes, hoping that he would understand that I wanted him to put them in the right place. I wasn't about to let him use my soap and my water. Can't you talk? What do you want me to do with these? I grunted. Oh, you dumb or what? I want you to put them in the right place. Do you take them and put them in the right cupboard? Are you too stupid to understand? I almost felt bad for being rude to him, but I figured I was only making him pay in advance for what he was going to do to me later on. He didn't look so pleased, but he remained calm. I don't know what's going into you, Nathan, but I'm new here, and I don't really know where these things go. Maybe I could take care of the cleaning, and you could place them. Did he really want to take my place? There was no way I was going to let him use my soap and my sink. It was my job to do the chores, and I didn't need any help. I prepared my next and last response. You don't want to do anything useful. Fine then, leave and face the consequences. I was satisfied with myself. There was no way he was going to stay now. Was there? I heard footsteps, and I assumed they were his until I noticed that they were coming closer and not farther. What's going on here? Aren't you doing anything, Jeffrey? Oh, it is. What's going on here? Aren't you doing anything, Jeffrey? I thought I told the boys to get a useful young man, not another waste, the master shouted. It's not my fault, my man. It's nothing. He doesn't want to let me do anything. Jeffrey seemed scared, and I was almost sorry for him. Almost. And why did you just leave? You could just have to let this retard take care of all the work if you liked it. Are you proud of yourself? Did you really let the city stand up for you? To you? But I thought you told me to clean the dishes. I only wanted to listen to your orders, Mama. Didn't I tell you that you had to call me master? Now, go find yourself a bed and sleep. I hope you'll do better tomorrow. And you, Nathan, finish what you started and go sleep as well. I don't want to see you doing anything else. I smiled. Jeffrey was finally going to leave me alone for once. I felt like I had won something. The sounds of him and the master leaving the room were like music to my ears. I continued cleaning my dishes. I suddenly noticed that I had never seen the master's room. Did she ever sleep? Probably not, judging how she acted. I looked out the window and noticed that rain had stopped. Right now I wouldn't have anything to help me fall asleep. It didn't really matter though. I was pretty tired, and it wouldn't take long before I fell asleep. I went to the bathroom, and as I passed in front of the mirror, I noticed that my shirt was really different from how it was when my mom gave it to me. My mom. The colors were duller, and I had some traces of blood and food that I never was able to get off. I had a few scratches, but I felt lucky that my roommate hadn't teared up all of it yet. I don't know if the master would have bought me a new one. I walked slowly towards the dorm, and I felt happy to finally lie down in my bed. My bedsheet smelled like me. Poop. A true sign that it was mine. And only mine. Poop. It was the only place that truly felt like home to me. Except maybe for a scent of poop. Before I fell asleep, I noticed that the sun was slowly rising. I hoped that I would be still being able. I hoped that I would be able to rest quickly, and fortunately, my wish came true.